So the meeting is being recorded for anyone who wasn't able to join us at the scheduled time. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, but welcome to all of you who are here. Thank you for taking the time to be here. All right, so this is the Pennsylvania Forward June 2023 statewide meeting. And we have some exciting things to share. So I'll just jump down to the agenda and show you some of the things that we're going to go through here. So we'll be talking about our goal of reaching candidates, party switchers, and aligned elected officials, and we'll start off with talking about the event that's going to happen on Wednesday. Now we're going to give a few minutes for the different teams to give a report and let you know when those meetings take place. A lot of our work is done in committee and through those teams, so I encourage you just to listen for how you might be able to participate and which particular team sparks your interest so you can get involved. We need more hands to keep doing the work that we're doing. And then we'll discuss some other options or what else we need from you, and then also just open it up for questions and answers. So as we go through, if there's something that you really need to know right away, go ahead and use the hand icon and we'll try to call on you, but we will save some time at the end to give everyone a chance to ask questions. So hopefully you have all heard that there's an event happening this Wednesday in Harrisburg. We're inviting all of you to be there. Bring your friends, those who are aligned with Forward, or even those who are just interested, or just those who support democracy and want to see things turn in a better direction, and that maybe they just need to learn about what it is that we're doing. I'm going to go ahead and click on this link and show you what this page looks like. There's a place to RSVP and learn more about the details, but at the state capitol building on Wednesday, we have a big announcement. It's at the main rotunda. Craig, did you want to share anything about this, or do you mind speaking just a minute on this?
Sure. No, happy to. Let me just say that with the events this week and others that will be coming in the next couple of months, Pennsylvania is really taking the lead among all of the targeted states by the party nationally. We're really going to be kind of the pointy end of the spear, as they say. So this event on Wednesday in Harrisburg is going to be actually inside in the rotunda, so we don't have to worry about weather. I can't not at liberty to divulge yet the exact details, but it is a major announcement by sitting members of the Pennsylvania government regarding their affiliation with Forward. The story is going to break in the media, led by the Philadelphia Inquirer at 5 in the morning on Wednesday. So it will be out, and we expect significant press coverage of what happens there. We certainly hope that as many folks can come as possible, as Christian said, to sort of cheer on this event. Also, this week, actually tomorrow, before the Harrisburg event, we have a member of the Forward National Finance Committee who lives in Pennsylvania, who he and his wife are opening their home tomorrow evening for a fundraising sort of meet and greet with lots of people who are interested in the party. Certainly not all committed yet, but people who are interested and people who have capacity to support our budget needs so that we can go and really do the political things we want to do. So between potential fundraising, lots of media coverage, and a major political announcement, this is going to be a great, really sort of intensive launch week for us, and lots more to come in the weeks ahead.
Great, thank you for that report, Craig. Marlene, you started to speak. I'll go ahead and give you a second.
Yes, I prefer. I'm having problems with my phone, and so I was wondering if I could register the morning I come. Would that be okay?
You can reach out to me and I can put your RSVP in for you. It'd be great. And when you're there, if there's an opportunity, there should be someone there with a clipboard just to check in because we want to make sure that we stay in contact with everyone who comes out on Wednesday.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not used to Harrisburg, but you just go up the main steps and they'll tell you where the event is. Okay, that's
Yep.
fine.
Great. And so our goal is to get 50 people there, and we need all of you to help make that goal happen. We've got great representation coming from Forward National to be there with us. So there will be an opportunity to meet some of the national leadership as they're there to stand as part of this announcement. We also have some other local candidates that have already talked about aligning with Forward or even running as Forward that are going to come out and be part of this event. I know I have a couple people just right here in the area of where I live that have told me verbally, and hopefully we'll see them there in Harrisburg, that they're going to make the trip out and are looking forward to personally declaring in their communities. And that's what we're looking for, right? So all of you in the communities where you live, we want to help encourage and represent the Forward principles and values and point to what that difference is. So we're going to continue to have those conversations with our council members, mayors, school board members, state senators, state house representatives, county executives, right all the way down the line. So I didn't see if Ethan jumped on the call. Is Ethan here with us? I know he was trying to make the call.
I'm here.
Oh, great. Do you want to speak a little bit to the candidate recruitment?
Sure, I give a quick update. We've done a couple candidate training calls, but we're now in that go time. I know I've had some conversations with some local folks looking to run for office. So I figure I can give some of the quick highlights. Two main requirements in order to run is you must have been registered. You're a registered voter and you're unaffiliated with a major party prior to this year's primary. So if you switch to R or D during the primary to vote, that's fine. You just can't run as a third party in the fall. But if you were an independent at the time, then you're eligible to run, and you have to be able to vote for the position that you're seeking. So you have to live in the district. And there's really three levels of candidate that we're looking for. So at the lowest level is you just want to do your civic duty. You don't have a lot of time. There's a couple positions that you can look at you can get on the ballot to seek a vacant position. The number one vacant position that might be in your area is like a township auditor. So I know like in my township, East Lampeter Township in Lancaster County, there is no candidate running for auditor. So there's no Republican, there's no Democrat. The position doesn't do anything. It meets once a year in January. You look at the township's financials. Usually they have an audit anyway. And if one of the supervisors works for the township, you set their salary. So it's one meeting a year, and that's the minimum requirement. And the number of signatures is, a couple dozen signatures to get on the ballot. So like I'm currently trying to recruit someone to run for that office in East Lampeter. So it's a guaranteed win. People who want to do their civic duty don't have a lot of time. The other one is there are openings every election to be appointed to a vacancy. So there's lots of vacancies for judge of elections or inspector of elections at voting precincts across your county. My wife did this a few years ago. She doesn't have an interest in running for office, but she wants to do her civic duties. So she got appointed as an inspector of elections, and she helped people vote, fill out provisional ballots all day on election day. So you go through one training and then they put you in to serve. But that's an elected position, just there's a lot of vacancies. So you could get appointed by the county board of elections to fill one of those vacancies. So if you're interested in that type of role, you can contact your board of elections and say, hey, do you need any help on election day? I'm willing to help. And that's a position. The next level is you want to help build the brand and local party infrastructure. You have some time, but you don't plan on winning. Look for open positions where you're facing one other major party candidate. So a county row office like a prothonotary or clerk of courts, school board, borough council, township supervisor, but it's usually where there's a dominant major party, Republican or Democrat, and usually no one else runs. So you can run to give people a voice and a choice. Ballot access is the first hurdle, is not that big. And then it's pretty light after that. You're not running a big race. A good comment from Eric Hamill. Yes, you can run for inspector of elections or judge of elections. That's up in 2 years. So that's in the 25 cycle. If no one has run previously, then you're appointed to that open position if no one has run for it in the previous year cycle. And then you have the final tier, which is going to be harder to get. But if you get a candidate like this who's in for it, then we're all going to rally behind them, which is you're all in, you're going to build the party, and you're going to fight for a win. Look for those open ballots positions where you're facing another major party candidate, but you're in a kind of a purple district. Again, county or all offices, but those are the ones where go through the training calls, be prepared to knock on a lot of doors, make a lot of phone calls. You're not going to have free evenings or weekends between now and election day. But if we get a candidate who's willing to put in that level of effort, then that's where all us volunteers will come around behind them and help them out. So that's the big level. So if you're interested in any of those, let Christian or anyone else in the call know. And there's folks, I'm Will, and other folks who can walk you through finding out if there's a vacancy or a good spot to run in your area. And then we've also done a lot of research on where are those open positions in various counties. So if you or you know someone who is interested or even slightly interested in running for a local office, let us know.
Great. Thank you, Ethan. We're going to slide into team reports. I'm just going to show you what those look like, and then I'm going to stop sharing for a minute. But for those who are going to be talking on any of those, this is the order I'm going to be asking people to talk. So I know Bill and Brian both planned on being on this call and then had something come up. Is there anyone from Gabe? Are you prepared to talk on the communications team? Or
Yeah,
Christian?
I certainly can. Christian Clark can help out as well, I believe.
Great. So go ahead. Communications.
Perfect. So communications job, as entailed by the name, is to put out the emails, social media, and streamline the communications as you've been seeing here, just to keep everybody updated. So in recent events in particular, we've been focusing on creating these calendars so that our fans, as well as kind of leadership itself, can keep track of where and when all of our individual meetings are. So as these are kind of like hard to find on our website, we just want to give people a chance to see exactly when they are and what's kind of going on in general, just so they have a chance to join as much as possible. We've also been looking at specific email addresses just for counties, so that as our party moves to really get strong regional efforts, primarily in like individual counties, that the people who lead these counties can have a more private platform to address their people. So we've also been working on streamlining email requests. So the way that some of our communications work is that people submit requests for specific emails to go out, whether that's to a certain region. And so recently we've been really working on creating a streamlined system for people to get these out, just so that we can have more open, streamlined communication as a party. I'd also like to stress that we do have a newsletter. So we've been starting a monthly newsletter that is sent out in one of our email blasts, and you can also find it on our website. So these just let you know when your meetings are, what's kind of going on with the party, and other events to look out for as we start to host more regional meetings. So these are another great thing to look for. If you don't currently get them, just put your email in the chat, and I'll make sure that you're included on that next email. But that should be it for me. Christian, do you want to add something else?
You pretty much covered all of it, but definitely feel free to reach out, just email back to the forward email with questions or comments, or even just letting us know how you found us. We love to hear about that, and it's great to build connections that way.
Yeah, certainly. I put our social media accounts in the chat. So if you would like to follow us, please do. On Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, we all have some really great updates as well. So if there's an event going on in your region, we'll definitely post something about it just to let you people kind of know when and where things are going on.
Great, thank you, Gabe. As far as the communications team, if there's anyone that wants to get involved, when is your regular meeting? Was that in the chat already?
I will put that there, but we do have meetings on the third Thursday of every month. So right now, that would be the Thursday of next week.
Great. Thank you very much. And great job with driving that social media. We're starting to get more and more interaction. I encourage everyone here to, even if you don't love social media, it really helps to spread the word and make sure we're reaching outside of our bubble. If you just take a minute, at least one day a week, to go on and like and share. We want to make sure we're not just talking to people who have found us already, but we're starting to get the word out to additional people. So we appreciate all the work that the communications team is doing. One of the other projects they'll be tackling soon is, in addition, I'm going to drop this on them right here in front of you all, but we've had some conversations about merch and making sure that we get some merchandise and even PA specific. So if there's anyone here who loves working in that space and wants to contribute, it's a great time to jump into the communications team and add to their efforts, because they're already doing a lot, and certainly could use some lifting as we continue to pile more things onto their plate. But we appreciate all of you for the work that you're doing. Researching candidates, Ben.
Yes, on this Monday at, I believe, 7 o'clock, we are going to have a committee meeting. If you would like to attend, please email me. I will put my email in the chat. We will be discussing strategies for getting some of these vacant seats filled, either by running an independent candidate ourselves, or mounting a write-in campaign as well. That's also a viable strategy. I will reiterate that we are also going to be, the event in Harrisburg is going to be a candidate heavy event. I encourage everybody to join us there. And until that event, I probably don't have more to announce other than join us for our meeting on Monday.
Great. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate all the work that you do there. And I'll tell you, the last candidate meeting was a great conversation and so much accomplished. And I really encourage anyone who has interest in that direction. Certainly, if we're going to be a party that makes a difference and really become a credible, viable, durable party that we talk about wanting to be, it's going to be driven by candidates. And it's great the number of people that are working on that. All right, let's see. Finance and fundraising.
We believe in it.
All right, thank you, Tim. Storytelling. Let me call on you that way. How about that?
We need storytellers. There's nothing formally to report on our, actually, there's something very formally to report. It's been a while since we made a decision in our finance group, but we are currently recruiting, since I'm doing both ends of these, members of our finance and fundraising team. And really, we need more storytellers than we do fundraisers, so don't let asking for money stop you from volunteering. Eventually, we're going to need somebody in literally every county. And so if you're at all inclined to get on board, Jazz Sockman has joined our group from Monroe County, and we've been making some progress. The announcement and kind of formal presentation is that even though we all knew it was happening, the national office at a meeting a couple of weeks ago did announce that we're canceling the summit in Denver. And we all kind of knew that was happening. We'd been making some changes all along with the changing roles, but we did raise money to support the summits, both summits, the Gettysburg Summit and the Denver Summit. So just so you know, officially the Denver Summit's off. We did eventually raise over $10,000. Thank all of you who contributed. We had about 36 of you as founding donors to the party and will be so identified. And that was very, very good, a very good response from the leadership and a few other folks. We do have other uses for those funds. That account, which is reconciled with National, we still have to decide how we're going to spend the money, but you just need to know that we're not doing the summit. So that's the close of our summits campaign in a very successful way. We're gradually transitioning in some partnership format with National to raise money. And Craig Snyder, our political consultant, we met the other day, and partly, Christian, this is really for a message to you. Under the heading of our next campaign, which will be to raise as much money as we can between now and November of 2024, is basically to build our state party.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh,
So that the campaign, if you will, is building a party, building our state party.
There we go.
That we need to build into that what it's going to take. And I know Jack has already worked up a bit of a budget from the template the National gave us. And so the finance side of us is building a budget to spend as much as $350,000. And then the fundraising side is going to be developing a strategy with National to raise that much money to pay for it. We can't do any deficit spending. So if we're going to spend any money, we're going to probably need to raise it first. And to that end, we're going to need people across the state. We do have a very exciting opportunity tomorrow that we frankly just learned today, the details of which. There's an event in Philadelphia as a bit of a follow-up to the wonderful meeting that Craig Snyder hosted on May 18th of folks in Philadelphia about our party development. There's a meeting of about 46 folks from deep-pocketed places in Pennsylvania, including Pittsburgh. I know most people are probably from the Southeast, but that event is tomorrow night, and Governor Whitman is going to be here. And we also just learned that Lindsay Draft and Joel Serby from National will be here on their way to Harrisburg, but they're all going to be here in Philadelphia tomorrow night. And Jack and Rachel are going to join me in representing all of you the best we can. And so that's really the first start to us engaging folks across our state. And we're talking about traditionally people who support political causes. Obviously, Democrats who are not as happy with the Democratic Party, and Republicans who is not as happy with the Republican Party, and independents are not as happy with anybody. But we want to find people that are happy with what you guys are up to.
if I may ask where in Philadelphia is it?
It's down near Rittenhouse Square.
Rittenhouse Square.
Yeah.
Which
Which is right near about 4 or 5 blocks from City Hall in Philadelphia.
yeah, I'm a Philadelphia girl, so I know where it is. But Lynn, who did you say is going to be there?
Lindsay Draft is the CEO of Forward National, and Joel Serby. Yeah.
But Andrew Young's not going to be there, right?
No, Governor Whitman is going to be there. Andrew is going to be in Harrisburg with all of you on Wednesday. So it's a big week for Pennsylvania. And it's a big opportunity for all of us to craft a way to go forward. And a lot of recognition is being given to what you all are doing in terms of identifying spots in elections and running for office and filling posts. And again, it's like building any company that you're going to build. We need people to do it. We need people in as many counties as we can get. I also want to put a double plug in for county organizers. And if any of you, right now we have I've got a list of 12 out of 67 where one of you has decided to at least commit to helping organize the county. And the county organizer will hopefully coordinate all the different functions, from looking for open offices to getting candidates to run, to helping us with communications and communicating with your local media and getting to know your local anchors on television news, and spreading the word, and also helping us with fundraising, because everybody who can give to us is going to live somewhere. And we can't just be in Philadelphia or the collar counties or in southwestern Pennsylvania. There are people all over our state that we need to help organize. And so I need to, and one of the things, even for tomorrow night, there's going to be a bit of an update on this is what's happening in Pennsylvania. Right now, we have 12 counties with organizers. If any of you are willing to help organize your county, we need you. And just, I also put my email and my phone number in the chat. If any of you have any ideas for how to develop you and your co-leaders in your specific county.
Thank you, Tim. So there's no doubt that we're going to be well represented in that meeting tomorrow night. And thank you for those who are taking the time to be there. And it's great that that's organized and that we're able to tell the story of all the work that's getting done. Certainly being able to tell them about our initial campaign and the success and the number of leaders that came up with something to contribute and get us started and get us through the Gettysburg Summit, and the amount of outreach that's happened to get some candidates interested and get our pipeline going. These are the types of things where you see some momentum. It's time to really just run with that and continue telling the stories about what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And certainly the national story, as people start talking more and more about elections, and even, the 2024 presidential, we're not playing in that race. But as people look at that race and start talking more and more about that, I think the frustration with the current situation continues to be reminded to people. And that helps them want to create something different. And that's part of what
Can I ask, Christian, Marianne, is your name Marianne, or do you pronounce it differently?
No, it's Marlene.
Marlene.
Just call me No Name.
No Name.
I have a lot of names. My nickname is No Name. Marlene Soifer Barbash.
Okay, Marlene,
I really am privileged that you let me, I'm joining you. I'm really getting very excited.
Well, right now, we've got a handful of people identified in Philadelphia proper. A number of us from the collar counties are active, but Nancy Hanks in Northeastern and a handful of other folks. And so I wrote your name down, and either you can contact me or I'll contact you. But we do need to get the Philadelphia. I mean, Philadelphia is probably 7 or 8 counties big to organize in Philadelphia itself.
Yeah, well, that's really good because that's where I need to go. But let me take one step at a time, and I'll go to the Harrisburg event because I hope I can talk to certain people there because I read his book, Forward, and it's important. I hope I'll be able to speak to him directly.
You will. He's very approachable. What part of Philadelphia do you live in?
Well, I live in the suburbs, but the train is right near me, and I live in Huntington Valley.
Okay.
Great. We're going to continue on with the rest of the agenda, and it's great that we have this conversation. We'll look to have more Q&A and continue to connect towards the end here. So the Priorities Committee, and I'm not sure if Rachel, you wanted to speak to that or not. Okay, I'll let you share with what you.
Yeah, I can speak briefly. So priorities, as some of you guys, especially who attended the Gettysburg Summit, know, Jack and I were charged with. Every state does need to figure out their priorities, the priorities of, say, a border state or a Western state or a Northern state, we're supposed to all have our individual priorities. Some may overlap. And so it's important for us to figure out what are the priorities in Pennsylvania. So we have put together a poll. We only have about 137 respondents. This poll will stay alive. It is posted in the newsletter. We have QR codes that we're hoping everyone takes to any events, getting them laminated and having them with on clipboards, t-shirts, whatever. But we do acknowledge that it is a biased sample, and 100, 200, 300 even really is not going to really represent fully Pennsylvania. So we're still working on options on getting existing, like well done recent polling data for Pennsylvania and what the priorities are. I contacted Citizen Data, which is an organization that was actually featured on the June 12th, I think, Forward podcast. And I haven't heard back, but they have a lot of information already compiled. So I thought perhaps they or someone at National would be able to help us with that. It's been a slow roll, though, getting already existing data. So the priorities team has not been the priority since the Gettysburg suburb, because we've been focusing on, as we've been talking about all night, the things like getting candidates, identifying vacant seats, and Jack and I, who are the priorities team, are in a lot of other committees as well. So if you have ideas or have any academic connections to polling in Pennsylvania that crosses party lines and demographics, that we can really speak with authority to say this is what's important to Pennsylvanians. We have had a mixed sample. It's pretty stratified by age and stratified by Republican, Democrat, and Independent. And I can just tell you, with 137 respondents, that the top 5 priorities for Pennsylvania are in order: the economy, gun violence, climate change, election reform, and term limits, which some could argue is a part of election reform. So that's where we stand right now. It could turn out that those are the 5, but it's really would be presumptuous to say that right now. So that's where we are. And again, if anyone is interested and is able, the QR code I think Christian has at the end of this presentation and can be found multiple places. You can also contact me if you're anywhere or can post it. And especially if you have mixed like followers on your social media or anything, share it with anyone. It's preferable not to have them just be, echo chamber forward minded. So any help in spreading the poll and finding additional data to support it is welcome.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. And what's really important about this approach and what we're trying to do, and hopefully you guys can all help support this, is we're trying to ask people and use their voice to help direct what it is we're asking for our candidates to address, right? We want the state to speak, the people of the state to say, these are the things that are important to us. And then we want our candidates to help provide solutions to those things. And that's our approach to solving the problems. And it's just great, the work that you guys have done already. And then we're using that to also help guide, along with our focus on raising candidates and money, everything you've heard so far up in this call. We are working on a strategic plan, which we will share with you all as that gets finalized. And so you can look in the coming weeks where that'll be shared for some input. Leadership will review and share, and then we want to make it available to the state so you can see the direction that the party is heading. The organizing. So what's important with the for you guys all to understand, we have 6 defined regions, and we have regional chairs that are identified that help to organize their regions and have their own calls. And it's from that level that we start to identify county chairs and try to look for the opportunities to reach out beyond who is currently involved with Forward and engage with people, but also help to support candidates and continue to do the things that we need to build the party and get our candidates not just running, but elected. There is a vacancy up in the Erie area. We actually, the northwestern region of Pennsylvania, we do not currently have a regional chair. We do have a couple hundred people in our database, and we're starting to do some outreach. If there's anyone who or anyone on this call that is from that area, we'd love to talk with you and help make it not intimidating. We want to support you and help encourage you to take that on. So of the regional chairs here, is there anyone who wants to? I know Bill was on the call, but his audio wasn't working. Maybe you could drop in the chat just the date and time for your regional call. If you still can't jump in right now. Hector, do you want to speak to the capital region?
Sure. Good evening, everyone. As Christian said, I'm Hector, and I'm the co-regional chair for the Pennsylvania Capital Region. So, and we just had our first regional meeting on Monday of last week. We only had about 5 people there, but that's okay. That's how everything starts out, And so right now we're planning to continuously host those meetings every second Monday of the month, so it doesn't coincide with our statewide meetings for those who would still like to join moving forward. In addition, we are also doing a tabling event in Hanover on July 29th from 12 to 8 p.m. for anybody that would be interested in joining. I was directed to this event by Christine Womack. I don't believe she's on this evening, but if she is, apologies for saying that you're not on. It is, my understanding is the Hanover Pride event. And so we would like to kind of start making our presence known across York County, as we do have a a county organizer up in York who is also working with Christine by the name of Gus. And so we're trying to get York off the ground running, since we already have 2 individuals who are more than happy to get the county up and going. And that's it for the moment. Oh, there is one more thing. My apologies, I forgot. Brian, I don't believe he's on. He led me to this organization called Braver Angels. They do have their state convention from July 6th to the 8th. They are looking to become, they're looking to work with other individuals from cross-party lines to create a new larger network, because they feel disenfranchised as well from the major political bodies. So anybody that is interested in participating, we do have a limited window of time to apply and be permitted to join their convention. So if anybody has interest, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll drop my cell phone number and email in the chat for anybody who's curious. And that's it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Hector. Yeah, Brian McMurray, he represents the Southwest region. He's the regional chair for Southwest. He had a
Yeah, I just hopped on here, actually.
Hey, there you are. All right.
Hey,
great.
how's it going?
Good.
Good.
I don't have
Yeah,
to
I'm
apologize
sorry.
to you. You're here.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, we'll let you talk. You're here.
Okay. Yeah, we had our first regional call last week. Just a few people, like, a lot of these have been, but it's still great. We got to focus on this building out in the regions so that we can get local organizations to support candidates and to be able to get the word out there at a local level. We got to get more rural support. Most of our support at this point is in the cities, Philadelphia, Harrisburg, Pittsburgh, and we got to work out from there. So this is how we do it.
Great. And were you going to speak anything to the, or I can, about the tabling kits that are being put together? I can speak on that if you want, if you prefer.
Yeah, go ahead if you could.
So one of the things that we're doing, a tool for our regional chairs that's going to help all of you who want to get involved. We are putting some tabling kits together, so we'll have table coverings and placards and things to make it easy for you to talk and engage with people. So if you identify an event that you think this is a great place for people to be introduced to Forward, and we want to be there to, again, to reinforce the idea that we want to hear from people. So we're there to ask questions and ask them, how can we best represent what they're looking for from people in government? But to help put the brand in front of people and make sure they understand that there's a difference, we want to be visible. And so, and that also might empower you and help you feel more comfortable about going somewhere just to have a professional setup. So we've had that feedback from some people. Just wanted to let you know those are in the works. They're coming soon. And all of the regions will have those available. So as you get involved, if you see an event that you want to be part in, tying into your regional meetings and knowing your regional chair, it's as easy as a phone call to say, hey, I got this event I'd like to do. Can you either meet me or can I borrow that kit? And we can make arrangements as we build relationships and we know where it's going. We want to make sure that we can equip you and empower you to be involved and be visible in your communities. So I don't see Emily here. I know that she's probably at one of her kids' sporting events. But Emily Corns is representing the Central region. She lives in the Somerset area. If there's anyone else on the call or that watches this video later from that region, please reach out to Emily. She's doing a great job of connecting with some folks, but I mean, it's one of those areas where it is a little bit of a slow growth. And would certainly appreciate any introductions and contacts that anyone else here has. Is Kyle here, or is there anyone who wants to just announce when that regional meeting is? I know you guys had a pretty robust turnout for the last meeting, from what I understand. The beautiful thing is the communications team has done a great job with the newsletter and the calendar. So even if we don't tell you here, we can tell you where to find it, and we can get you to that next regional call.
Yeah, so that's been something we've sort of struggled with even ourselves, making sure, like even tonight, I was like, where's the link to tonight's meeting? You know, you're on so many committees or you have other obligations. So you can always search in your email for the newsletter. It will come out in the beginning of the month, and so that it'll have all your regional and not really small committee meetings or subcommittees, but the state and regional and maybe eventually county. We're just not there yet. And then the calendar that Bill's been working really hard on is actually going to be a great tool, because if you do the calendar, it can integrate into a calendar you use frequently to stay organized. So your Apple Calendar, your Outlook Calendar, your Google Calendar. So we're just kind of testing it out before we release it fully to make sure that it works well and there's no glitches. But that, I think, is going to be a game changer for me as well. As far as the Southeast region, all of us really kind of had our meeting the middle week. It was the 14th last week. I think that we've been alternating a Monday and a Wednesday. So I'm actually not going to speak for Cal. I'm not sure when the July is, but it will go out in the newsletter.
All right. Thank you, Rachel. I'm going to go back to share my screen just for a minute. And because I want to make sure that anyone who wants that priority QR code, grab your phone if you want to take that priorities quiz or survey rather than quiz. There's not a right or wrong answer. But before we even get there, this is just a little quote that I wanted to throw in. Focus on momentum, not perfection. So we've come a long way. I'm excited with where we're going as a state. And I'm excited about the momentum we have. And that's the thing. We need to keep this growth going. And everyone who's been involved, thank you for your hard work. Be encouraged with the progress we're making. And for those of you who have stuck it out and continued to show up for these meetings, thank you. We're not perfect. You can pick us apart. There's things we're going to continue to get wrong, but know that there's a lot of people who are committed to delivering something better than what we had before. And we need your help to be able to get there, but we're excited about what is happening. Just a reminder about what the pledge is, and there's a greater iteration of this that we share with candidates that talks about the things that we're looking for from our candidates, but even for our volunteers, as we ask people to gain access into some of our databases and that sort of thing. Just a reminder that putting humanity first, committing to data, communicating with integrity and transparency, grace and tolerance, embracing political diversity. These are the ideals that we want to continue to embrace. So this is the QR code for the poll. So anyone who has not yet taken the priorities poll, hopefully you understand the QR code and how that works. If you just shoot your photo, aim your camera from your phone at this, and it'll give you a little floating yellow bar, and you can touch on that and it'll open up the poll. The good news about this, if you share for anyone outside of Forward, we're not capturing their information until after they share results with us. So, and you don't even have to enter any information to contribute your input. So we really want to get everyone to share their opinions. We want to hear what everyone's thinking. And then if they're intrigued by why we're asking this, or once they get to the landing page at the end, there is the opportunity for them to enter their information and get added to our mailing list and be connected with getting the information for things we're doing.
It is ranked choice voting in an effort to practice what we preach. So keep that in mind, that you can only choose 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3. And if you're doing it on your phone, you do need to turn it sideways to be able to see all your options, just to
Thank
avoid
you.
confusion.
Thank you, Rachel. Yes, that's very important information. A lot of people struggled with that their first time through. So that's a great reminder. All of this that we've shared so far, hopefully these things here resonate. You know, we're looking to identify opportunities where we can make a difference and improve our communities. We're looking to see what we can do to make things better. And one of those ways is by getting to know our current elected officials, understanding who might be aligned with us and where there might be a reason to find a candidate to compete and change the conversation. And we certainly want to develop leaders. If we hear somebody or see somebody who's representing the same values and ideals as us, let's help them feel confident and comfortable to step up and do what needs to be done. Here's another QR code for anyone who may want to make a donation. But really, donation of time and being involved is something just as important. We certainly have big goals for this upcoming year, and we do appreciate the financial support. There's going to be additional opportunities to contribute in that way. We're going to always put this out there for people who want to give, but there's not a requirement to give to get involved. There's a great group shot from our time in Gettysburg. Just a list here for the different things that you may consider doing to get involved and contribute beyond just jumping on this call. So we hope that you might consider each and every one of these things and helping to grow the party. So thank you for being here. I'm going to stop sharing and just open the floor up for questions. So if anybody, and if you have something to share, something you want to question, we just wanted to get through the agenda and save some time to hear from everyone, if there's anyone who wants to share. David. Oh, you're on mute, David.
Okay, just a question on fundraising. Are any contributions, monetary contributions to the state organization, do any portion of those contributions flow to the national organization?
Yes, we have not signed an official affiliation agreement yet, but what we have verbally agreed to and what we expect to see when we have a formal affiliation agreement is a 70-30 split. Now, what we get for that 30% is quite a bit. The website that we use at this time, there's a lot of tools that they've provided for us, a lot of counseling and support, but 70% of each dollar. And there was actually an exception to that even during that last campaign. So there was a higher level of commitment to just the state during that original campaign we made. But the ongoing relationship defines a 70-30 split.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Bill.
Yeah, good evening. I just wanted to let everybody know that Tim has a fundraising meeting tomorrow, actually, at 5 o'clock. So please encourage anybody who wants to get involved with the fundraising and finance committee to do that. I'm working on a budget to spend Tim's money and everybody's money. And please, if you can, donate. That's another encouragement. I know you don't have to, of course, but I encourage everybody to donate so we can have a successful campaign and raise the money we need to raise. And last but not least, please, if you can come to Harrisburg tomorrow, come on and join us out in Harrisburg. It's going to be a great time, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm sorry I haven't been around for a while. I went on vacation and then I got COVID for the third time. So I apologize. I haven't been around for a week or so, but I'm over it and I feel better. So thank you. Please, please, please contribute as best you can. Thanks.
Bill, we're glad you enjoyed Ireland and we're glad you're feeling better. Great to have you back.
Christian, let me clarify. because most of us are going to be in Harrisburg on Wednesday, we've actually canceled the fundraising meeting, which again is every Wednesday at 5 o'clock. So just so you know, since most people will probably be somewhere on the road at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, we're not going to have a meeting this week.
So every Wednesday at 5, but we're going to skip this one because of Harrisburg. And who's allowed to come to those fundraising meetings, Tim?
Anybody?
All right. So you heard it straight from Tim, and Bill invited you, encouraged you also. If you have interest or have ideas, or thoughts of how we can help to fund the growth that we're after, join Tim at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, but not this one.
Or any other time.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah,
Ben.
we really, I do need to emphasize, we're looking for storytellers.
Yes.
Because you can't just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. Storytelling has a skill to it. And and if anybody knows anything about anything, most of it's about listening.
I forgot one of the things I wanted to mention during my report on the day after the Harrisburg event, the Pennsylvania State House State Government Committee is going to be holding a hearing on open primaries. So if you want to watch that, that is going to be live streamed from there, and go to their website, what I put in the chat, to view it.
That's a great reminder. Thank you, Ben. Bill.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm sorry. I wasn't able to unmute my computer before, so I apologize. So I want to thank Rachel for the plug on the calendar. That's what I just wanted to get into a little bit. So on the website, we added a new page to the backside of the Pennsylvania Forward website. You can now locate the calendar, click on that. It opens up the calendar full screen, and the links for all the meetings will be on the calendar. For leaders and leadership committee, their calendar will be a little different, so you would need to subscribe to that. And what that'll do is it'll have all the leadership calls, and it'll have also all the affiliate calls listed on it, as well as the regional and statewide calls. You can also, as just as a forward member, you can subscribe to the individual regions calendar if you like, and that'll include. So, for example, if you're in the Southeast, you could subscribe just to the Southeast calendar, and that'll give you all the events in the Southeast and all the statewide events. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention that you are able to subscribe. We're going to put that into the calendar page on how to subscribe, probably for July. Right now, it's still in the beta phase, I guess, if you want to say. And again, as Rachel said, all the links are also going to be in the newsletter for the upcoming month. And I want to thank Peter Knight, who's on this call, just volunteered to be part of the newsletter team. So he's going to join us Thursday night, hopefully, if he can make it, at 8 o'clock for our newsletter team meeting. And that's all I got.
Excellent. Any other questions? All right. Well, I hope that this was good information. I really appreciate you all taking the time to be here. I hope you'll consider joining us in Harrisburg on Wednesday, and if not, tune in, look for the news, and help to share the announcement that way. Even if you are in Harrisburg, make sure you're sharing the news with everyone else. It's from moments like this that we can really just accelerate our momentum and accelerate our growth. And a lot of these conversations and seeds that have been planted over the past year, it's a great time to circle back and talk with folks who may have shown some interest, or maybe even didn't show interest before, but that values-wise they're aligned. So it's great to see you all. I hope to see many of you in person very soon. Have a great night.